Test 2. Test 2. Test 1, 2. If you guys can hear me, go ahead and put in the chat that you can't actually hear the audio. Just want to check it before we get started. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Just wanted to test out the mic, make sure it works. All right, testing out some new settings. Test 1, 2, test 2, 1, 2. All right, it seems as though you guys can't comment, so I am trying to fix that. Give me a second, and I will. I'll get in and fix that real fast. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started real fast. I realize that commentary is not on, unfortunately. If somebody knows how to do that, you're more than welcome to send that to me in a really quick email. I haven't yet found it. I'll probably find it later. That way we can do that. If you do have comments, let me get this up here on the screen real fast. First and foremost, if you do have comments, we're gonna go ahead and put them. Let's see. Let's get you my email. That way everybody can see what my email looks like. It is jordan.fitzwater@communityisd.org. If you want to send a really quick email with your question to that, you are more than welcome to do so. I will leave that on the bottom of the screen as we go through this whole thing. Let's go ahead and pull this down. And all the classroom notifications are coming in. All right, here is my email. Let's put this up here real fast. Whoa, it's really large. All right, if you need my email, this is what it is. You can type that into your any email, jordan.fitzwater@communityisd.org. I have my emails right here on my iPad, so I will see them the second you send them. Oh, it's because it's in kids mode. See, this is why I have students that know more things about YouTube than I do. Let's see if this knocks it out. Wait for it. Good for you, Harrison. Let's see. No, not made for kids. And let's see where you got. Aha! There is the live chat. If you do not see the live chat, you can refresh it. You're more than welcome to go ahead and just click into the live chat. You guys can ask questions there. Thank you, Harrison, for the win. If you haven't yet figured it out, we are going to an online classroom for the next couple, and I want this to be something we can do really easily. I think I have a lot of really technologically savvy people in this class, so I don't see that this is going to be a very big problem for our class, but I think it might be an issue going forward for things like being able to access Photoshop, Premiere, and things like that. So our assignments are going to be geared in a way that are going to help you guys do that. Let's first and foremost, we got to talk about just some things going forward. If you haven't seen the first, I hate this. I got to fix this in OBS, but if you haven't seen, this is kind of what it looks like going forward. This is what our distance learning is going to look like. We're going to be using Google Classroom almost pretty much. Ideally, it's just going to be all Google Classroom. All right. I will have streams here and on YouTube for you guys to look into and to work on, and I'll also have some instructional videos posted here for you guys, which will be great. Most of it's going to be online student interaction, so if you haven't already seen on your Google Classroom, the stream posted about 6 minutes ago, your Google Hangout, you guys can go add your Google Hangout there. And it should be pretty easy. Just click on the link, sign in with your Google email, and then add yourself to the link. It's really super easy. We're going to be using a lot of online educational tools. Some of these things you probably have seen in the past. Some of these you might not have. And of course, we'll create some new ways of learning. But of course, there's not going to be any new standards. So we're still going to be learning. We're still going to be doing exactly what I said we were going to be doing over the last couple. We're just going to be doing it a little bit differently. All right. So let me grab the next slide here. All right. So this is how we will be doing our class. First and foremost, these are my hours. These are going to be my hours going forward. It'll be Monday through Friday. 11 to 12. Oops, it looks like it says 11 12. It'll be 11 to 12 and 1 to 2 p.m. I'm going to be on call for communication at any time between 8:30 and 4, and most of you know that. I'm pretty. It's pretty easy to find me anytime before and after those times as well. But if you need me like immediately, I'll be on call so you can see me 8:30 to 4 p.m. So this is what it looks like on call from 8:30 to 4 p.m. You guys can communicate with me, teacher or other teachers, as well as parents and students can contact me during this time, and I will for sure answer. And then my online office hours, which means I am in Google Hangouts and on the YouTube stream. I will be on both of those from 11 to 12 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and from 1 to 2 p.m. Okay, so I hope that makes a little bit of sense. I hope that helps everybody out. And that's where I will be, all right? The next thing on the list, of course, is our communication venues. How are you going to communicate with me? You can communicate with me through Google Classroom comments. You can do it through email, or you can do it through this YouTube with comments, as well as Google Hangouts. And things like that. Yes, thank you, AJ, for helping people out in the chat. Much appreciated. If you haven't added yourself to the Remind, get on the Remind. Graphic design, yours is, you just text the number 81010 with the message FITZ GFX, which stands for Graphic Design Graphics GFX. So 81010 FITZ GFX. Audio Video 1, you are FITZ AVP 1. And if you are in my PIT class or you are in AVP 2, you 16 or 17 folks, you guys are already in your Remind. It's all the same Remind. You're going to be all right. That's also going to be the third level senior junior practicum thing going forward next year. So you guys are already added to that. Good for you. Other things you need to note going forward is, as well as being online, everything is going to be on Google Classroom. So let me kind of take you through how Google Classroom looks now. It looks a little different than it did originally, and I'm going to use Audio Video 1. I'm going to use your Google Classroom to show us how this works. Dum-da-da-dum. All right. Here in Google Classroom, you'll see things that look a little bit different. Up at the top, this is what your current weekly assignments are going to look like. I know right now that this looks really daunting. So for some of you, this looks like, oh my gosh, we're getting more work. No, absolutely not. You will not be getting any more work than you have already had previous. The only thing you will have that is different is your journals, you'll see, are separated into 3 different days. For AVP2 and Principles of Information Technology and Graphic Design 8th period, you guys will have these for every single day, okay? So for Audio Video 1 and Graphic Design 5th period, you will have a journal for Monday or for Tuesday. You see this where it says Tuesday? Then you'll have one for Thursday. See this one for Thursday? Then you'll have, ooh, thank you for signing up for Remind. Then you'll have one for Friday. See, this one is for Friday. This is how, if you'll see, this is how your attendance is recorded. And this is in every class. So make sure that you do whatever bell ringer or assignment they have at the beginning of the day. Just go ahead and do those at the beginning of the day. Knock them out, okay? And then do like you're doing school. Wake up, maybe get in there 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, do your assignment, your daily assignment, and then, of course, walk in and do your big assignment for the week. This one up here under current weekly assignments, this one is never due and it will always be there. If you are ever wondering when my office hours are, they are right there. There will be actually that is a lie, that has changed. It is actually now 12 to 2. So you'll have, I'm sorry, it's 11 to 2, I'm an idiot. 11 to 2, let's change that real fast. 11 to 2. During the 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. or the 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. session, I'll actually be doing an online feature for teachers and parents in the area on how they can kind of improve their technology and things and education and whatever. And so I'll be doing that from 12 to 1, but your times are, of course, 11 to 1 or 11 to 12, 1 to 2. You can always find me in here. In here, I have given you kind of an explanation of the Facebook page that you have. It's linked here, as well as your Google Hangout and your YouTube, which is the channel you're on right now. So you guys can always find me there. During those times is when you'll find me there. And this will stay here forever and always. And it's in every class. It should be in every class. I'm going to have to go in and change it, of course. Here's audio video 2. It'll be there. It'll be in every class. All right. That way that you guys can see, of course, how this works. So this is how this works. Make sure you get in here, do your attendance, get in here, answer the question, and then you can go into your assignment. Okay. And you'll notice the assignments are a little bit different. And you'll notice this also, I've also created a, let's go back here to the channel. If you'll see the channel, on the YouTube channel, there is now a video that just popped up, okay? And it's called How to FITZ Class. It has all the information that you're gonna get in here on this page, in this video. Now, for those of you that are wondering, how in the world am I going to navigate a 41-minute video? Ta-da! Everything is down here. So everyone has to watch these first 10 minutes or so to make sure that you know the classroom, how it's going to work, make sure that you know the location of the assignment instructions, make sure that you know how to do missing assignments and late grades that are going to be due on Friday, which, don't freak out, we're about to go over it, so don't all lose your minds at the same time. All right, and then of course, for those of you that need information on ACA preparation and stream sessions that I'll be doing, that is located here. And then those of you that are in audio video 2, which is my upper level class, you need to skip to 17 minutes and watch these couple minutes of the video. And then if you are printing and imaging technology, which is yearbook, you need to watch the last, it's pretty much 15 to 20 minutes of the video, because that outlines how the yearbook is going to be done and things like that. You need to watch these, of course, before Friday. Those of you that are going to be doing the rest of the class, you guys are going to want to do this, because there will be an instructional period. There will be a period during our journals which will ask you questions about these things. So you'll want to get in this and make sure that you know all this information. If you're watching this video right now, you're already going to get that information. Don't worry about it. See, okay, so it kind of outlines everything that we do, gives you an example, and also takes you through a lot of other things. Audio, video, folks, it actually shows us how we're going to be doing Photoshop and stuff with your graphic design things. Graphic design folks, you'll be using Pixlr as well. And then, of course, my PIT folks, the yearbook stuff is here at the end to show you kind of how we're doing what we need to get finished. All right? So I hope that helps. If you haven't yet signed up for Remind, make sure that you do that. I have a lot of people that have yet to sign up for Remind. Here's all the folks that have. There's a lot of people here. Very nice. Good for you guys. Make sure that you sign up very quickly. If you don't see your name over here, most likely you have not signed up. So go ahead and sign up for Remind ASAP. That way that you can get all of the correspondence we'll be sending you in class over the next couple. All right, let's go ahead and move on. All right. Again, if you need to contact me at all, you can go ahead and put that in here. I see everybody's kind of having fun over here on the stream. Yay, work. Yeah, and folks, I know it seems like a lot, and there is a lot of stuff in here, but it's gonna be super easy, okay? Because I'm gonna be sending you reminds literally every moment you have something due. I will send it. Remember that everything is due when? Everybody comment. Yes. Okay. So Friday. Make sure everything is due on Friday. Period. End of story. It will always be due on Friday. You don't have to worry about that changing. Basically, all you have in classwork is 2 assignments. Your weekly project, your weekly assignment. That's it. So as long as you're keeping up with the attendance and then you're doing the 2 assignments, you're good to go, folks. It's super easy for you guys to complete. Literally, I've given you everything, all right? I've given you the videos to watch. Here's just an example for audio video 1. Graphic design, yours is going to be posted here within the next 2 to 3 hours, so don't fret. It's there. It's just not there yet. It's kind of in the queue. But here's an example of how I've done audio video technology. Here's the cut. this is a great example. I give you literally a full example of how to do your work. I explain it, and then of course down here you'll have to do your own portion of the work. It's going to be a lot of Google Docs, folks. We'll be doing a lot of Google Docs. We'll also be doing some extra work with, we'll also be doing some extra work outside of the Google Doc phase with some quizzes. We'll do some ACA prep stuff for those of you that are a little bit up there. We'll also do a few other things that aren't necessarily, I guess you can say, like this germane. I don't want to stay and do Google Docs for days. That's not my intention. I want to have fun. I want you guys to have fun. And eventually we will. Now, there are some extra credit points that you can do later on. The extra credit portions are things for those of you that have the opportunity to get on to these browser-based systems and edit audio. And if you can export it and send it to me, good for you. Those of you that want to do the extra stuff, for example, if you are bored enough and you're like, man, I really want to exercise my ability to cut and move audio, and I want some extra tutorials on that, come into my office, my online office for office hours, and we can talk about that. We can also talk about how to download Audacity. If you guys are interested in doing Photoshop while you are not while you do not have access to it, Photoshop, Adobe actually has the ability for you to buy Photoshop. You can do your 7-day trial, which is a free trial. Then, of course, after that trial, where did it go? Dun-da-dee-dum. After that trial, it's $10 a month, and we're probably not going to be in this for too long. We'll probably be in this for about, a month, maybe, 2 weeks right now is what we're looking at. But if we eventually go through April, then all you're really looking at is doing $10, maybe even $20 to keep up your Photoshop, Lightroom, and all that other fun stuff that you can get with the photography assessment from Adobe. So if you are looking into that and you want to do that, you're more than welcome to. Make sure that you, of course, ask parents. If you do not have, those of you that are kind of worried and you're like, man, I don't know that I have a computer that can handle this, come into my office hours. Let's talk about it. Email me. Let's talk about it. That's the easiest way to get things done, is to pretty much just contact me. If you have any questions, contact me. Folks, this is super easy. The way that I want you to break this down is in 3 different groups. Attendance, assignment 1, assignment 2. That's all you need. That's all you need for this class, and it's going to be super easy. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. If you have any questions, guys, come into my office hours. Let's talk about it. Let's get it all done. Let's get it all in. Now, here's the thing that everybody's kind of getting a little frustrated about right now, and let me show you why, because I have a lot of people who look like this. For example, my audio video class right now has 5 people with a missing assignment from last week. Now, most of you are freaking the heck out, thinking there's no way on earth I'm going to be able to get this in, because that was the equalizing sound thing. We need Audition to do that. We have to be able to put it in our ethical video. Yes, you were supposed to do that. And remember that was due on Thursday before I left. And then I gave you the extra day on Friday to get that in. So those of you that are missing these things, yikes, okay? Make sure that you go in and look and turn them in if you do have them in, because some of you do have them in, but you didn't hit the blue button. Others of you don't have anything in, and I'm going to tell you how to remedy this, okay? So if you don't yet know, if you have anything in, or if you are missing something, you can go in and look in Tyler SIS, and you can make sure that you look at your grades. They are all in as per what I believe yesterday. And this morning, you guys can go in and look at those. They are online, and you can make sure that you have any, make sure if you have any missing grades. If you do have missing grades, this is how we're going to remedy those, because I know you need your software to do those. You can do a substitution grade, and this is how we will do that. For audio video students, this is how you remedy your production hardware equalizing sound. All right. Everybody, if you'll notice down here in the bottom, it gives you all of your instructions, and you were supposed to send me your audio that you had EQ'd. If you cannot do that, you can create a Google Doc, and you can write 2 paragraphs, or I'll give you 1 paragraph. How about that? You can write 1 paragraph, and this is for the late grade folks. You can write 1 paragraph on an audio or piece of music, any audio or piece of music. You have to paste the YouTube link in the top, and you can tell me what is wrong with its equalization and how you would change it. So audio video 1, paste a YouTube link, and then give me how you would change that equalization to make it look good. Make sure you use vocabulary, talk about your lows, your highs, your mids, talk about the parametric equalizer that we learned about before you left. Okay, so audio video, that is woohoo, that's you. What I would like, and I will post a little JPEG up on your stream that shows you how to get in those assignments, and you can put them into equalizing sound as your substitution late grade. Okay, so for those of you that are missing this, all right, here it is in your stream. Substitution, late grade. Paste YouTube link of audio sample. Number 2, write a paragraph of how you would change its EQ to better equalize the audio sample. And this is for the late grade. All right, so if you need to do that, go ahead and do that and put it into that last submission link, all right? You can do that real fast. Let's go check these comments out. I know you guys are probably... good for you. All right. That is audio 1. Graphic design folks. Graphic design folks. You guys were supposed to finish your final compositions. This is 4 people are missing this in 8th period. Let's see, 5th period. Wait for it. Oops. Good for you. Good for you, 5th period. Everybody got it in 5th period. Round of applause for all of you in 5th period who got it in. Those of you that are in graphic design, this tutorial down here, if you did do this, I am giving you guys some extra credit points. Because you turned it in. I will give you those extra credit points. Don't think you did that in vain, because I know that you guys finished your stuff and then did it. So, hey, good for you guys. But if you are in 8th period and you are one of those folks that did not do that well, and you are one of these 4 people that did not get it in, what I would like you to do for that, for your substitution grade, you are going to find, wait for it, let me make sure I got this right, because I think your 3rd was the images for your, yep, so your article, okay? You are going to, late grade, submit what you were going to write for your article in a Google Doc.
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that yet.
Google. For credit. All right. So submit what you were going to write for your article in a Google Doc. So that was the article with the 3 pictures. You edited 2 of the pictures, and you had an article that had 4 text boxes with 4 sentences each. So that's, or 3 text boxes. So that's 3 paragraphs that have 4 sentences in them. Audio video, 5 sentences. Don't cheap out, okay? So 3 paragraphs have 4 sentences in there. There you go. That is your late grade substitution. Good luck. Have fun. And you guys in 5th period can have that as well. I'm not going to post that on there because you all got it in. Good for you. If you didn't, and you actually, I think I actually put a few zeros in there. If you did, go back and make sure I didn't put a 0 on yours, and your stuff looks good. Let's go ahead and look at audio video 2. All right. All right, I'm not trying to turn it. Okay, good for you. Hey, folks, if you have a problem with your files and stuff, continue sending me these private comments. I'll get with you guys, and make sure that you're checking your private comments, checking your email, because as I make these work, I'm going to be putting those in there as well. All right, I'm going to be fixing those, and then I'm going to show you guys how to fix them later. All right, so we'll be doing substitution grades for those things that couldn't get turned in. For example, the PRPROJ files that you guys accidentally turned in that you're not supposed to. You're more than welcome to do a substitution grade for those, and I will still give you the substitution grade for that, all right? Those of you that actually put in, if you put in something wrong or in a wrong format or something like that, I pretty much just took off a little bit of points and gave you the credit anyway. So if you have the credit for it, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You should be okay. But if you're worried about, and you have an argument for, hey, I actually did have this, whatever, put it in a private comment. We'll get it taken care of later. All right. We will assess that in the meantime. All right. So let's go ahead and look at this audio video 2. This is my advanced class, folks. I had a lot of people that didn't turn in teaser trailers. If you did not turn in a teaser trailer, yikes. Those of you that did turn in teaser trailers, I gave you a grade. It is in Tyler SIS, but it is not here. I think somebody just knocked on my door. It is in Tyler SIS, but it is not here, okay? What you can do is you can go ahead and check Tyler SIS, see if you got a grade for the trailer. If you did not get a grade for the trailer, audio video 2, okay? Late grade substitution. You can write a script on a Google Doc, and for your trailer, it must be an original, edited between today and Friday, and you can turn it in for late credit. All right, so if you would like to, you can write a script on the Google Doc for your trailer. It's got to be an original. It's got to be edited between today and Friday, and then you can turn it in for late credit. I know that you guys are really smart and finicky, and you think that you can get in a copy of the Google Doc that we did originally on that, because I know some of you guys are really, really, really obnoxious when it comes to turning stuff in. You like to copy and then paste it, and then you like to turn it in, and then it actually shows me the originality reports. So folks, don't think you're getting away with it, because inside these grades, let me actually pop in here real fast, that way you can kind of see it. Actually I can't do it from here. Inside these, it gives us the ability to do originality reports, where it actually lets us see if you copied and pasted from somewhere else in a Google Doc, on your drive, or even somewhere on Google in all of the search history of Google. And it gives us, and it lets us see where you took it. I had a student in AVP 1 that decided that they were going to plagiarize 60% of one of their papers, or one of their things that they were doing, and they didn't get any of the credit for it. So go back and check those of you that are in that class, make sure it wasn't you. All right, so that is how we're going to do late grades for those classes. PIT folks, I don't think I have any late grades for you guys on industrial deadlines. Okay, I lied. I have 4 of them. For those of you that didn't do those, make sure that you get your yearbook spreads in, and you'll be good. Make sure that you let me know when those are. You guys can work on Jostens from home using a Chromebook. It's not that hard. And we need to finish, those of you that are on yearbook, we have to finish that yearbook by technically tomorrow. So if you haven't yet finished it, me and Maddie have been working through the week to finish the yearbook. Some of you need to get on your stuff. Other things, how we are doing class, how we are doing life. If you are just, it looks like I got a few new folks in here. If you haven't yet joined the Remind, make sure you do that. Make sure that you also check out these office hours, as well as the on-call communication that you have the ability to contact me at any time. I see a lot of people joining me on Google Hangouts. That's awesome. If you haven't yet joined on the Google Hangout, make sure that you get on there. I'm sitting here looking at very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 20, 21 new messages with 27. And I think I have 1 or 2 more that I have to approve. So if you haven't yet, get on Google Hangouts, because that's going to be how you contact me. If you haven't yet seen one of your folks that's here on the live stream, get into Google Hangouts. Make sure you do that also. Let's look at some questions. I was on today's X, but I got a teacher trailer done. What else? Okay. No, my badge isn't on. It's my keys. I gotta have my keys also. I know that you guys think I'm wearing my badge all the time, but I'm not. I swear. But yes, thank you guys for tuning in real fast. Last couple things I want to talk about regarding how we're doing class. Okay. If at any time you get confused and you're like, man, this is way too much to keep up with, I want you to see it kind of in a. Actually, I'm gonna edit this real fast. I want you to see it in kind of a list. All right, I'm gonna post this list right here. That way, that everybody goes, oh, okay. So step 1, do your attendance journal. And everybody will have them. That goes for PIT. That goes for everybody. That's PIT. That's AVP2. That's AVP1. Graphic design. Everybody's gonna have attendance journals. Okay. Number 2, you need to finish videos and assignments for the day. All right. And then number 3. Can't even remember what number 3 was. I'm gonna figure it out here in a minute. Contact FITZ with any questions, and boom. That's how we do that. All right. Oh, I didn't realize it was actually typing on the screen as I was doing that. That's great. All right. So attendance journal, finish it. Finish it for the day. So if you meet in my class every day, you need to log into our Google Classroom every day. All right. You're going to see a lot of me. It's going to be great. We're never going to not see each other. It's going to be awesome. And then, of course, you need to finish videos and assignments for that day. So 8th period, talking to you folks, you see me every day during 8th period to check your attendance, to make sure you're in attendance. I will have to, of course, make sure you do the journal every day. That journal, let me show you that real fast. Those journals immediately, let's see, go off screen. Check this out. Let's go back here to audio video 3 so I can show you guys how these journals rotate. Check this out. It goes live the day the journal goes in, and then it's due, check it out, it's due right here that same day at midnight. So if you don't log in that day and you don't do the journal is going to disappear for a late grade, and then you won't be in attendance that day. So make sure that you are in attendance for this using your journal, using your attendance journal, okay? Make sure that you do these, all right? It's going to be a huge thing, and I know every teacher has one of these, so you need to log into Google Classroom, do your attendance bell ringer or your attendance journal, that way that you don't get cut out, all right? Second thing, finish your videos and assignments for the day. Super easy. And then contact FITZ with any questions. Cool. If you are part of the audio video 1 class or the graphics design class, you are good to go. This is the end of your video. That is how we're going to be doing class over the next couple. If you have any questions, find me on YouTube. Find me in here. If you are part of the graphics design class on AVP1 and, wait for it, and you would like to hear what we're doing about the ACA stuff, stay here, stay put. If you are part of AVP1 graphic design and you are not doing ACA prep or you don't want to do any of those things, you can go ahead and get off. You can go ahead and get out of the way. You can exit. You're more than welcome. If you're a parent and you want to hear about ACA exams, if you're a parent and you want to hear a little bit more about how we're doing some things in the upper level classes, you can go ahead and stay. I'm going to give some time for those people to exit. All right. AVP folks and PIT folks, if you are still here, this is how we're doing stuff, folks. Gosh, I say so much. Let's look at this from a reality standpoint. If they kick us out and they say that we are not allowed to do ACA stuff, that is going to be okay. We are going to fix it. We are going to make sure that you guys have every opportunity to take your ACA test. Seniors in the room. Let's see. Where did it go? Seniors in the room. Sorry, I'm trying to get one more thing in here, that way that you guys can see this as kind of a window marker if you need to come back and see it. Window markers. Oh, I saved it in the wrong spot. Dang it. All right, there we go. Sorry guys, give me two seconds and I'll get it to you. Get this information to you. I just want to have this for like a window marker, so if anybody needs to go back and see what I said, you can go back and see what I said. All right. All right. Looks like I got it here. All right. So for those of you that are doing ACA certifications, all right. ACA certifications means that you are interested in doing either Premiere Pro ACA Cert or Photoshop ACA Cert. That is my PIT students. I think a few people in graphic design, David, Pedro, Bobby, Jordan, Dominic, I think. There's a lot of others, I think. A few of you. There's a lot of others. I have the list. I can't remember who it is, but I have the list, and the list has been submitted. We are completely on track for doing our ACA on May 15th. It has not been canceled because our school has not been canceled to May 15th. If school gets canceled all the way up until May 15th, then we will reschedule that test. Okay, so right now we are on target for taking our test, ACA test, May 15th, that Friday. We're still going to get you guys out of class. We're still going to go have fun. We're still going to go do some tours if they're not all closed and they haven't said no, keep the plague out or whatever. So we will do that if we have the opportunity. If not, if we don't have the opportunity, I still want to get you guys out of class. I still want to go do something. We will go and do something on our own, for our own. We're going to go do some really cool fun stuff. Even if we have to go and do like something like news in the field, or we get to go do our own news stories, or we get to go shoot our own stuff. And PIT, graphic design, you guys will come with us. We'll make sure that we are going to have, we'll have a fun time. One thing I want to make sure that everybody knows is we will consistently be working on ACA prep. I outlined this in the other video. If you miss it here in the stream, we will be taking time where I will do just ACA prep one day. So during the time between my hours, so 12 to 1 p.m., that is going to be used for either a teacher and student and parent kind of, hey, this is how to use technology in your online new class thing that we're doing because of COVID-19. If I'm not doing one of those, most likely I am going to be open for that hour to do just ACA prep. And I want to dedicate that time for ACA prep because I want everybody to be able to do it. Okay? So we'll take time. We'll do, I will actually have you guys do a virtual from different places. We'll do some quizzes that I make. We'll do some practice tests together on this platform, and you guys can go through the practice test with me. We will do some domain practice. For Photoshop people, I have to start giving you how to do smart objects. That's going to be the next thing that we do. There's a lot of different things that we have to do going forward with ACA. So if you are still interested in doing ACA, this is what my plan is to do. This is my plan. Monday, I will leave that open for teacher, student, tech prep. So that's what we're calling teacher, student, tech prep. And anybody from Facebook or whatever in this big Facebook group for North Texas is going to come in. I may actually have some of you guys on a Google Hangout. Those of you AVP students that are interested in doing that, if you would like to come in and to be interviewed about how Kahoot helps you and how Quizzes helps you and how Edpuzzle helps you, and if you want to be interviewed, we'll be doing that. On the other end of that, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to use for Photoshop prep. Okay? So we'll quit the stream and then I'll upload a new stream and we'll be doing it that way. This is all on the YouTube channel, so you guys can stay right there on the YouTube channel. Just wait for me to end that. Wait for me to start the new one. That way that if anybody goes, oh, I couldn't make it that day because I was doing work for another class, you can come back and you can do it later because it'll still be on. It'll still be on there. Tuesdays and Thursdays, Photoshop. Wednesdays and Friday, Premiere. All right? Tuesdays and Thursdays, Photoshop. Wednesday and Friday, Premiere. And it's an hour-long ACA prep. I won't take the whole hour. Probably take about 30 minutes inside that hour and then open the end for questions, like the last 15 minutes for questions. So that's kind of how we'll do that. All right? So first thing I want to do right now is look through the comment section just to make sure there is no like random, hey, I have a question about whatever. If you do have questions, start putting them in the comments section. I want to make sure that we answer all these real fast. I don't have. Also, if you do come into the chat or whatever, and especially because you guys are my older folks, let the younger folks know that they need to put their name out beside. If they have like a YouTube username, for example, Undead Baby Dragon, I have no idea who that is. So make sure if they are one of those that don't have their name by it, make sure that, or they're not logged in with their student email, make sure that they log in and they have, at least they go, this is so-and-so, and this is what I have to say. That way I can address them correctly. I don't want to have to say, Undead Baby Dragon. That's kind of stupid. So questions. Don't have a mobile Wi-Fi for Chromebook. Don't have a laptop computer to work Photoshop or Premiere. First question, Ariel, I don't have mobile Wi-Fi for your Chromebook. You don't have mobile Wi-Fi for your Chromebook, that's okay, but you can still do, I believe, do you have internet at home to work on like Google Docs and stuff like that? Because my first answer to that question, of course, would be yes, you can work on your Chromebook and do it that way. We won't be using Photoshop and Premiere at all. I'll be doing tutorials and stuff, and you guys can ask questions. It's all going to be kind of theory-based and knowledge-based because you won't have the ability to practically use Premiere and Photoshop. Now, Photoshop we'll be able to use a little bit because we're going to be using pixlr/x.com. If you guys want to go in there real fast and look up pixlr.x.com, you can. It looks a little bit like this. Hold on. This is the pixlr.com. You guys can go look this up real fast. Pixlr.com. Pixlr.com. Start editing. Let me show you guys what this looks like real fast. So Pixlr. Oh, I hate this. I hate when I do that slow transition thing. I don't even know why it's up there on the board. It makes me so mad. So Pixlr looks like this. And let's just say this is my photo that I'm editing. You can do a lot of different things. We can still crop. We use our adjustments layers. Different types of liquefying, of course. We can do all of that stuff. You can Control Z, do all that stuff. Brushes, text, overlays, stickers, resizing images. We can still do all that stuff here. So if we do need to do anything Photoshop wise that has the ability to be done in here in Pixlr, I'll have you guys take it into Pixlr and we'll just do it that way, of course, and we will we'll save them this way. And you get to say you download those, super easy. Cool? Yay. So that's how we'll do that. If you have any questions on how to do that, of course, Google Hangout, private comment, email, do it that way. But that's kind of how we'll do Photoshop. But for Premiere and ACA Prep and all that other stuff, I'll share with you guys this screen. I'll let you see all the cool fun stuff that I'll do with the practice test, how we'll do detailed overlays, how we'll do all that stuff. I mean, we're gonna work just like we're in class, except we're not gonna be in class, guys. That's literally what we're doing. All right. Of course, we won't have the opportunity to work on software, but oh well. So the next one, Ariel, I don't have a laptop computer to work on Photoshop and Premiere. That's fine. Don't worry about it. The only internet you have is cell phone data. You don't have the ability to make your phone hotspots. A Chromebook can connect. Okay, so this is another question that I have for a lot of people. I know you saw it here with our... I know that you saw it here on the screen with the assignments and stuff. All of these are going to be provided And if you have your phone, you can actually do these on your phone. So if you choose to do them on your phone, that's okay. If you don't want to do them on your phone, you can email me. I will be sending out, they're going to give us a list of folks that are asking for paper copies of everything, paper and pencil copies. So what we'll do is those paper and pencil copies, you will get paper and pencil copies of all of these assignments, all right? So every single one of the assignments that we do, it'll have kind of it'll have a printout format. That way that you can actually do it via paper pencil. You'll give it back using the bus routes and bus drops. We'll see it. We'll come get it up at the school, and of course, sanitize it. And we'll make sure that we get a grade in for you. Okay, so that's kind of how that'll work. It'll be a little bit more difficult per se, but we'll make sure that we have a paper copy for you at all times to send. Yada yada. Okay, so you will get those paper copy. Don't fret. They have an entire, like, you should see the huge Google Drive that they've given us with instructions on how to make all this happen. It is going to happen. Don't worry about it. So if you don't have the internet access to do that, don't fret. Okay. Next thing, let's see. AJ, whenever needed to put anything into our flash drives, I'd like to point out the flash drives are disabled. Yes, flash drives are disabled on your Chromebooks, so you won't be able to access any of that information until we get back into the building, until we get back into school, folks. I'm pretty sure, I hope we get back into the school. I hope that we get to go back and have class, because we've got a lot of stuff to do. But if we don't, you still have your flash drives. If you do have a device that's not a Chromebook, for example, you can actually buy on Amazon these little converters, and you can put them into your phones, and you can access those files if you really need them. But those flash drives were for those desktop computers so that you can clean them. Ironically, they finally flashed and cleaned all of the computers so we can use them, scratch disks and all. That way we can use them there. So I'm glad everybody put their stuff on their flash drives. If not, yikes. D.D. Harrison posted something above. Main question, if I wake up at 5 in the afternoon, not saying that I will, but I'm just making sure. And if I do all my work, have it turned in, I'll be fine. I don't need to be... Correct. So, great question. You can wake up at 5 p.m. And I hope that you don't, because that is so bad for you. But you can wake up at 5 p.m. You can do all your work right there. That's fine. All of my assignments post at 8, or my attendance assignments, they post at 8 a.m. And then they're done by midnight. So if you do the attendance assignment by midnight, say I was here, you can do it. Basically like night school. So if you want to stay up really late and then, come in, do, like late because you're really good at doing everything late in the day. I am a terrible morning person. I'm really great with everything late in the day. I'm really productive late in the day. In fact, I could do things at 2 in the morning that I could never do at 6, 7, 8 in the morning. So if you are one of those people, just make sure that you get in your attendance before midnight. You can do all of your work. It's all still due on Friday, folks. Nothing's changed, all right? So thank you, Harrison. Great question. I could do 8th period first. Yes, you can do 8th period first. Then you could do 2nd. Then you could do 3rd. Then you could do whatever. You can do them all out of order. It's all up to you. You can do it on your own time. In fact, Harrison, this is a perfect way for you to just do work, because this is how you work. So, Marshall asked, Mr. Fitzwater, Brandon forgot to put his phone up. Does that mean he isn't in class? That's funny. That's great. Yes, Parker, great question. Percussionist. I do have a full-on, this is how we're going to be doing class. You guys will be, I have some things I can't tell you that Mr. Boyce will be telling you soon, but we will be working on rudiments and everything like that while the band works on their own Google Classrooms. We will be working on our Google Classroom to do rudimentary work. I have a thick book of music you guys will be working on, snare rudiments, basic rudiments that have nothing to do with keyboard. It's all going to be based in rhythm. We're going to be working on getting our traditional chops up. We're going to be working on getting everything else like that nice and pretty, getting it ready for next season, getting it ready for the end of this season, and of course, I'll be sending you guys some solos as well that we'll still be doing on our percussion ensemble concert. Okay, we still are doing our concert. Don't think that we have yet to do our concert. Our concert is still on until they say, hey, up until May 9th, it is all canceled. And when they say that, then we will say, okay, we can't do a percussion concert. So May 9th, percussion concert, if you didn't know that. Keep going. Okay. Good question, Ariel. Flash drive's disabled. Only internet, you have a cell phone, you have a hotspot. Good. Xkill. Who are you, Xkill? Oh, Evan. Got it. I will be missing a lot of the stream due to work. If you can, would you email me all of the crucial? Okay, so Evan, everything will be on Google Classroom. Everything, Google Classroom. You don't have to worry about anything being emailed to you, because if I emailed all 100 and whatever of my students, that would be obnoxious. Okay, so you can always find everything on Google Classroom. All right. Donate through Super Chats and get redeem bits bucks. Gamer Dude. Who is Gamer Dude? Jason. Okay, perfect. Wait, Jason. Oh, okay. So, Jason, this is how this is going to work. Great question. How is online classes going to work? If you need to, go back to YouTube, which is here on my YouTube stream. You can go back in this stream, or you can go look at it here. Let's open it in a new... Right there. Oops, didn't want to do that. You can go and look at our channel, not my channel, our channel, and you can look right here. It says How to Fitzwater's class. Literally How to Fitzwater's class. And you can look through here and go, this is what I need to see. You can look through all of these little things, and it shows you everything you need to know. Introduction for the classes, how to do new Google Classroom, how to do Google Hangouts, how the Facebook works, how to do assignments online, locations of those assignments, how to contact me at any time. If you have any questions, this is how this is going to look next week, and I will be giving some, cushion, because I know a lot of people are going to be freaked out on how to do this. We'll be giving a lot of leeway and cushion, but we need to be able to do this well, especially the week after that, because they're going to be on us about, especially like things like attendance. So, good question. Let's continue on with the next couple of questions. How's the online class going to work? Yes, love for community. What? Gamer Dude is sign on in my school email. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, it is storming, by the way. If you guys haven't figured that out, the storms are coming. So guys, be safe. But here in about 6 minutes, we're going to be transitioning to an off period where I will be cutting everything off because of the fact that we will be transitioning into Dr. Niven's live stream Q&A. So I will be sending you guys all there here in a minute if you are interested. If you still have questions, still want to comment and hang out, whatever, on this live stream, it will be going for a little while until Dr. Nivens is done with his Q&A. I will have the Q&A here. If you guys want to watch it here, you're more than welcome, especially because I know a few people might have some extra questions. If you have questions that are not for me, like for our class, info@communityisd.org if you haven't figured that out. So here's your, make sure I got this, info@communityisd.org. If you have any questions that are not Fitzwater specific and they are community specific, this is where you need to be. info@communityisd.org. That is where you need to be, okay? That's going to help you guys know things about bus routes, how to get the food, how to do all that other stuff. info@communityisd.org. Like deadlines, stuff like that, ask them. If you have things like attendance or whatever and you're like, hey, I really want to know how you're doing that, that's this one. Jordan.Fitzwater at communityisd.org. All right, I want to make sure you guys are good. If you are good, you don't have any more questions, you're more than welcome to leave the stream. I am posting right now. Right here, I'm about to post the Dr. Niven's Q&A. But I'm going to be streaming it live right here. That way, if you guys want to stay here and you have other questions that are not for Dr. Nivens and you want to talk here, or you have some other things that you need to still ask, you're more than welcome to ask me live. I'm just going to be watching it here, and I'm just going to pull it over here in a minute. Let's see. Hold on. I did that wrong. Nivens Q&A. He's going to be live here in a second. Actually, here in the next 4 minutes, he'll be live. Here's the link for that if you don't want to watch it through my stream. There's the link for that if you don't want to watch it through my stream. Yes. Oh, Gamer Dude. Gamer Dude is Jason, right? Okay. Right? Yeah. Okay, Jason. Yes. Not a lot of information has come out about prom. They are trying to fight for you guys to have it. Same thing with graduation. We don't have those answers yet. Nobody has those answers yet, but they are trying to fight for you guys to have those. So know that your administrators are fighting for that. Westfall used some awesome language the other day regarding wanting to keep you guys, apprised when graduation's going to happen, when prom's going to happen, all that other stuff. Okay, so don't count them out yet. All right. Okay, so here in about 3 minutes. Means buy a prom just now. Hey, go for it, man. Go for it. If you are interested in Dr. Niven's Q&A, that is happening here next. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stay here online. All of my mic and everything's going to be muted, and I will be here in the chat window if you guys want and have any other questions or you have any other concerns about how things are going to go. You're more than welcome to ask in there, but go ahead and leave if you want. I know that sounds terrible, but go ahead and leave if you want. And go over to his Q&A because he's going to have a lot of answers for a lot of questions that a lot of you guys probably have. All right. Let's see. Doesn't look like he's live just yet. Still going about 2 p.m. All right. See you guys in a second. I hate that slow transition, man.
To me, and so you'll kind of see me glance over here and get the questions and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very informal setting, very informal. I just want to make myself available to answer questions, and so I'll get started. So as we and so she'll tell me the questions as they come in. So as we are battling this COVID-19 situation, and as the world is battling it, you know, the one thing I have to say is I am beyond proud of the staff of Community ISD. It never ceases to amaze me, the response that we get from our staff members. And so I'm not sure if you saw this post yesterday, but I think it was a school board member somewhere posted and basically said, Texas gave its teachers a few days notice to completely change the entire educational system around, and do it quickly and still be able to provide the services that students need. And if you haven't seen it, it's out there. But I actually pasted that and I sent it to my staff late last night, or probably early this morning. It might have been 1 o'clock this morning. Not being able to sleep a whole lot lately, but it's I am just proud of my staff. I am proud of the teachers here. I am proud of the principals. And so we'll just keep moving forward. And so a part of our plan moving forward, I'm going to jump to this because while I'm talking about, I'm proud of people. Our bus drivers and our child nutrition workers, our child nutrition men and women. So our district is 89 square miles, and we understand that we have students in our district that have high needs. And we have students in our district that don't have transportation. We have parents in our district that don't have transportation. And so what we decided to do as a district was we understood that. And so we have two things that we're doing. One is, a drop curbside service. So if you want lunch or breakfast, you can come get it. But the main thing that we're doing is that our bus drivers are driving their normal route every day with our child nutrition staff on board, and they are delivering breakfast from 8 to 9 and lunch from 11:30 to 12:30 every single day. And yesterday we served 900 meals. 900 meals. And so I'm told 900 meals is what was served in districts that are 10 times as large as us. And so we're 2,600 kids, and we served 900 meals yesterday. And when I speak to the leadership team, I say, guys, let's make decisions for the kid that doesn't have. And so as long as we can take care of the kid that doesn't have, then we'll take care of all of our students. And so that was the reasoning behind that decision. And so, but now what I need you to do is to make sure that the students are going and getting the lunch and getting the breakfast. And it has to be a child. So mom and dad, you can't go out there and get it for them because we have some federal mandates that we have to follow with that. And so anytime we put rules in place, I guarantee is behind some kind of mandate, some kind of state law. And so that's the part of it. So the students have to go get the meal from the bus. But also, while you're out there, young people, make sure that you're practicing all your social distancing techniques, right? You're doing that. You're washing your hands for 20 seconds. You're not coughing on each other. If you feel sick, make sure you say something. Go see your doctor, take the test, all of that stuff. And so, again, right now, we're in uncertain times. And so as much as I would love to be able to answer all the questions I'm going to get, some questions I'm not going to have the answers to because none of us have the answers to them. Because we're just in uncertain times. And so our plan simply going forward is we're going to transition to something called Braves ID. And Braves ID simply means Braves, because we're the Braves, and we are having instructional delivery at a distance. And so let me be clear, and I keep saying it to everybody. School is not out. School is not out. School is not out. We're just doing school differently. A lot of people, I guess, think that I'm kind of square and kind of weird because I love school so much, especially the two kids live in my house. But school is not out, and we're just doing school differently. And so here's the thing that keeps me up at night. And so anybody that knows me knows I'm going to be very vulnerable. I like to be transparent. I don't want anybody to ever say, Dr. Nivens is hiding something and he didn't tell us. I want to tell you everything that I know, and because I am human. If we make mistakes, guess what? We just fix it and keep moving. It's not the end of the world. And so I'm going to tell you what keeps me up at night is that if we don't ensure that all of our Braves are still getting a rigorous instructional system right now during this time, they will come back to school in August with larger learning gaps and larger deficits in their learning. And I don't think any parent wants their child to go to school with large learning gaps. And so that's why early childhood education, that's why pre-K is so important, because you can close learning gaps. You can pretty much eliminate them before they start. The sooner you get a child in school, the sooner you help them learn how to hold a pencil and know their name and know their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and start reading on a daily basis, you can eliminate the learning gaps. And so we tell students all the time, your zip code does not determine your destiny. And so research often says that when students live in a certain area that is kind of, high poverty, low income, that they are not as, they're not as likely to be successful academically. I don't believe that. I believe if you have a strong enough school system and you have a good parent-school relationship and you have people that speak life into kids, then our students can do whatever they need to do and whatever they want to do. It's our job to set them up for success. And so now, parents, our partnership has to be stronger than ever, because now we're basically depending on you to help us facilitate the instruction at home while we're going through this. And so that's what keeps me up at night, is that I don't want our students coming back with larger learning gaps, because that just means they're further behind and it takes them that much more time to catch up. And so, we want to make sure that you stay in touch with the teachers. Our teachers made phone calls yesterday, I would say Thursday. It's all running, it's all running together on me, y'all. Today's Thursday. So they started Tuesday and Wednesday, making phone calls to homes, and they're asking you about your internet connection. Is it reliable or not? Do you guys want the meals? And then do you have a device, and all those things? And so we're asking a lot of questions. We don't want to seem like we are trying to be nosy or be in your business, but we want to know how best we can serve you and your child through these times. And so if you have an unreliable internet connection or a spotty internet connection, then we have a plan for that. And it's called, packets. It's called work packets. And so work packets will be delivered on the via the bus. And so when your child when their child goes to pick up their meal, they also pick up their work packet if they need one. And so we already know who those people are. They've already informed us of that. And so if you can do this electronically through Google Classroom and through your device, that is the best way to get it done. And so parents, most of our children have a device. And there are internet providers that are right now saying they will give you unlimited data for however long this crisis lasts. And however long this pandemic lasts. And so you should speak to your service provider and see if they would give you that unlimited data. Now, what I wouldn't do is to start using data all willy-nilly and not speak to anybody. I wouldn't do that. So you should call them and make sure that your name or your number, whatever, is listed to get the unlimited data package. And then your child, trust me when I say this, because you know this. They know this generation, they are the most talented generation I've ever seen. They know how to do an awful lot of things that I never dreamed about doing at their age. If they want to, they can do their work from their device, from their cell phone, if they want to. So if someone tells you, no, I can't, mine doesn't work that way, and they have a smartphone, I would question it. That's all I'm gonna say. I would question it. I think that's the best way to get it done. But if you needed a packet and you told your teacher that already, a packet will come to you, and then we worked out a system on, and the teacher will speak to the students about how we'll get that to and from. The biggest thing I want to make sure you know is that we have to make sure we do not lose the instructional ground that we've gained. And so that's one piece to that puzzle. And so also the governor, and so also I should have said this when I started. At 7 o'clock, the governor has a press conference. He's going to do a joint press conference at 7. So I have to make sure that I'm off by 7 because I want to hear what's going on myself. We're all getting information at the same time. I don't have a secret bat phone where I'm getting information before anybody else. I'm looking at the news, and I have these daily calls with the Commissioner of Education. And right now, I think it's like 1,300 of us on that phone call. And so he's getting information from the news and from the governor, just like everybody else is. So I want to make sure I'm off for that. But anyway, our Governor Abbott, has passed a resolution suspending state assessment testing this year, STAR testing and EOC, end of course exams. So what does that simply mean? That just means that we won't give STAR or the EOCs this year. And so a lot of people are happy about that. I have mixed emotions, if I want to be very honest with you. Because I do know that if there's no accountability, then you leave yourself open for students not to learn what they should, and for us not to teach how we should, if you don't have any accountability at the end of that. And so I want to make sure, our whole purpose, ladies and gentlemen, is not to babysit kids. Our whole purpose is to make sure kids are learning. And so although I don't agree wholeheartedly with the system that we have in Texas, I do agree that we have to have accountability. We have to have academic accountability. And so I've asked the instructional team to come up with a way on how we can maintain academic accountability in our school district to make sure, one, that we're doing what we should be doing for your child because your child deserves the best, and two, that your child is doing what they should be doing because they deserve the best for themselves. And so they have to take ownership in their own education. And so the school and the parents, we have to hold each other accountable. So if there's ever something happening that you don't agree with, you haven't seen, you can't get in touch with anybody, we need you to say something, and vice versa. If I'm always say Roosevelt, if little Roosevelt, not my son, little Roosevelt, but if me, I don't think I was ever little either. But anyway, if I didn't do my work, and I'm not doing my work, I expect the teacher to call mom and dad and say, hey, Roosevelt's not turning his work in. And so we have to do those things. And so while we're doing that, I've talked to the team about making sure that we do not let this time in our society, in our world, fracture our team. Meaning, now we've moved to this Braves ID system, meaning we don't see each other as frequently. Human beings are built. We're made for deep-rooted personal connections. And so now we lose those connections because I can't come and fist bump you and high five you and shake your hand or give you a hug every day like we used to. So what does that mean? That means now when you don't see each other frequently, you kind of lose people's intent. You lose the spirit of camaraderie. And then you may get a text message or an email, and you may read something into that. And you may say, why in the world would he send me that kind of email or text message? I mean, what is he thinking? And so now you're isolated. You're in your house teaching, you're isolated, and now in your own head, you're thinking of, I don't appreciate that. And so now you're thinking of things and you're upset, and the more and more you isolate it, the more upset you get. And so what I told our team was, we cannot let that happen. If there's an issue, we are all adults. We are all paid to be here. No one's working for free, and no one is here by force. What we have to do is pick up the phone or click on the little Google Hangout button and look people in the eye and say, hey, I saw this email, I got this text message, talk me through that. What was your intent behind that? And then more than likely they'll say, oh, no, that's not, I was just in a rush and I sent it. No, that's not how I meant it at all. Typically, that's how it works. And so if we are adults about it and we're professionals about it, and we speak to one another about what's going on, then we make sure that our relationships don't become fractured. And I told the team, if our relationship becomes fractured and we crumble under this, then our students lose. And we're not in the business of losing for students, for our kids. We're winners. Braves win. That's what we do. And so I also told our staff that every year, our district goes through some kind of adversity. And every year, our teachers and our students win. Think about it. Just think in your own head, every year, what kind of adversity we've gone through. And every year, our academic performance has gone up, up, up. And this last year, we earned an A rating. This current year we're in now, until we just stopped all sports. Every sport, I believe, and Coach Turner can correct me if I'm wrong, he's not in here, but I believe every sport made it to the playoffs this year. We win, guys. That's what Braves do. And that's what I want our kids to understand. It's not that life's not going to be tough. It's not that we're not going to have adversity. It's how we respond to that. And we win. We hit it head on. We don't crumble. We don't cry. We don't fold. We hit it head on. We lock elbows and we go and we win. And that's what we want our students to understand, is that just because you face adversity doesn't mean it's the end of the world, and we don't shut down. We win. We go forward and we win. And so I did a video to the senior class just earlier today, and I said that same thing. And, I guess the good and bad part about this is that I have a senior young lady in my house, Naomi, and she'll be graduating. She's in the class of 2020, and she's impacted by this stuff. And my pocketbook is impacted because I paid for this expensive dress and all this makeup and all this stuff. So what I said to the seniors earlier in my earlier post was, we're not canceling anything right now. Just because it looks a certain way right now doesn't mean it'll be that way in the future. So I asked the high school team to call our venue and push prom back to the week before graduation, and let's get that on the books, and let's see where we are. And so at this point in time, all I can say is I don't know. None of us know. But what I can tell you is that we're not going to lay down, and we're not going to quit, because that's not what Braves do. And so we're going to push it back, and then we're all going to pray, and we're going to pray that this is over, and we're going to pray for the safety and health of everybody in our nation and in our world, not just for us, because we're not selfish. We're going to pray for everybody, because we wish everybody well. Guys, there's enough wealth and enough goodness in this world for all of us to get some. And so we don't ever have to wish ill on anybody else so we can do good. There's enough for all of us to get some. And so we're going to pray for everybody, that everybody is protected through this ordeal. And at the end of the day, I want all of our seniors to be able to enjoy their prom, enjoy their graduation. My son said it best the other day. He was making a joke, and he said, we're going to be saying, click here to graduate. And it was funny, but that's not what we want to be doing. We don't want to do that. And so we're going to push that back, and we're going to wait to see what happens. But right now, I don't know. And so Mr. Westfall has a letter coming out tomorrow to the seniors with some more detail. We're going to make sure that transcripts and GPAs and class rank and grades and all that stuff, kids will not suffer from this, not from adult era. Now, I'm speaking to students. If you choose not to do your work and you choose to fail, then you will, because we're not going to give you any grades. So I need you to hear me say that. I need you to work with the same intensity that you worked while you were in that building, so you can get what you need to get to move on with your life. And so I need you to be resilient. And say, for instance, worst case scenario happens and you don't have prom and you don't have a graduation. Guys, high school graduation is not the pinnacle. It's the beginning of your life. The reason why they have high school graduations is because you leave and you kind of don't see each other anymore for a time. I mean, high school reunions. You have reunions because you leave and you don't see each other for a while. You move on with your life. And so if worst case scenario happens, which I hope it doesn't, it'll be okay. But it depends on your response to that adversity. And so I'm going to pause now. I've been talking for, 19 minutes straight. And I'm going to pause for any questions right now before I move forward to the next thing. Any questions, Sabrina?
So I'm not seeing a lot of questions, a lot of interaction, but not many questions coming through in the comments. And remember, sometimes for some reasons in privacy settings, we don't see those. I do have one from a parent here by the name of Carla Nivens. She'd like to know.
Carla Nivens?
Yes.
Oh, my. You know what? You be careful, young lady. That's my wife, y'all. And we'll be married 20 years next week. So she's put up with me for 20 years.
So I'll give a clap and congratulations for that. She
Blah,
has
blah,
a really
blah.
great question. What strategies or best practices can parents use in the home to help our students be successful during this time?
Oh. So what strategies and best practices can parents use to help their Braves be successful at home?
Married to an educator.
It sounds like she's a former educator. She's a musician. She's a worship leader at a church in Dallas now, but she and I met while she was a classroom teacher, a music teacher, elementary teacher. The number one thing is parents is organization and accountability. So if you never ask your child how things are going, what are they doing, show me the work, what time is your Google Hangout with your teacher so I can come in and watch. If you don't ask those kind of questions, then you're not setting them up. So let me rephrase that in a Speak Life way. You should ask those questions. You should walk in the room when they are on a Google Hangout with their teachers. You should ask to see homework. If it's packets, you should say, hey, make sure that packet gets on the bus in the morning. Let me see it. Make sure it's done. Make sure it's ready. You should see those things. I see somebody put up an angry face. That must be one of our students saying, why you telling our parents to check in on us? Because that's what parents do. That's what we do. That's our job. Another thing is organization. And I would strongly encourage that the workspace is different from the bedroom space. Workspace needs to be different. It needs to have a different feel to it. It should be, organized and clean and not as cluttered, because what we don't want to do is for students to start confusing that, well, when I'm in my room, I do work and I rest and I relax and I, entertain and game. We need them to have a different space, because it just helps our mind be different and think differently when you're in that space. And so if you're able to have the space in your house, even if it's at the kitchen table, I think that's the best space, actually. So Carla, put our kids at the kitchen table, would you please? So they can do their work there. And that way, as you walk through the house, you can say, hey, tell me what you're working on and how's this going? But we also have parent curriculum documents that are online. So today you should have gotten a letter from Ms. Cottongame, who was our Chief Learning Officer. And we developed these parent curriculum documents at the beginning of the year. And basically it breaks down everything that we're doing every quarter. And it gives the parents the vocabulary that students have to know. And it tells you things you can do at home to help children be successful in mastering that content. So for instance, if we're working on measurement this 9 weeks, then it'll tell you all the vocabulary that goes with that. But it'll also tell you, when you're cooking, have your child measure the flour, have your child measure the sugar. If you're out there cutting the grass, whatever, have your child measure, how many steps it takes to get to a certain point and do some mathematical equations. And so that's in that letter. So if you didn't get that letter, would you email us at info@communityisd.org? We'll make sure you get a link to that. That's on our website. And right now it's our third quarter data curriculum. And it's very user-friendly. It's very parent language friendly. It's not a bunch of education language in there. And you can see and understand what you should be doing right now to help children at home. And so again, our partnership is going to be critical at this point in time.
I just reminded them in the chat, but the communityisd.org/BravesID, we've got a ton of resources there and links, and we'll be adding more for parents to support at home and all the information you need.
Yeah.
That's there. So one other question that I've seen come in through our info communityisd.org was about the high school. Will the current situation delay the opening or the construction on our bond project?
Okay. So our bond project is still moving forward. It has not slowed down because it's dried in. And so as much rain as we're getting, it's not impacting now what we're doing on the inside. So actually the academic wing is the wing that started first, and that's pretty much done. It has, some punches that it has to go through. There's some tile missing here, some paint missing there. But the academic wing is pretty much done in that building. And so it's still on time. I had a post today of our construction meeting. And so normally we're over there, we're at the trailer or in the school. I have on my mud boots and I have on my hard hat and my vest. Today I sat in our conference room and I looked at all these guys on the video monitor. And so we're still having our construction meetings, but we are on time to open up that building in August of 2020. And that is going to be a huge celebration, because I think that's going to mark the defeat of COVID-19, and it's going to mark a brand new building, a brand new instructional facility that our Braves so deserve. And I'm so happy that that you guys supported us and able to get that to them.
I'm seeing a lot of comments and a lot of engagement. I'm not getting any questions in the chat. So if any of you happen to be seeing questions that we're not addressing, it's probably due to the user's privacy settings. So you can help us by retyping that question for us. But as of right now, just a whole lot of people. We've had 513 people in the Facebook Live. So
oh wow,
lots of people joining us tonight.
Yeah, I guess Corona got people on Facebook. Huh? Anyway. That's a part of life, guys, and we're going to deal with it. We're going to hit it head on. So one thing I want you to be comfortable in knowing is that we had a board meeting last night, and we talked about our plan with our school board. And again, I'm not sure if you know, but our school board, they just won another award. They won for small districts the HEB School Board of the Year. HEB grocery stores. And guys, this is so funny. We don't even have a HEB in our area. And the work that our school board is doing around is so well known around this state that they won the HEB School Board Award. And so that is probably the second most prestigious award, other than the one they won for the state of Texas when they were in the top 5 for the state of Texas last year. And so, with the school board at the helm, I have 7 bosses, and they hire me to facilitate everything in the district and make hard decisions. And so we had a meeting last night. We talked through the plan. They asked pertinent questions about, they just want to make sure that all of this is what's best for kids. And as long as we can prove that and say that and prove that and show that, then they support everything that we do. And so we're just going to keep moving forward in everything that we're doing. And so Braves ID is not, it doesn't mean school is out. It means we're doing school differently. That's all that simply means. And so, oh, wow. Also, I don't know if you saw the news, but I think we're under tornado watch tonight, right, Sabrina, until like 10 or something like that. I want you guys to make sure you're safe. If you're online right now, just go and charge up all your devices, all your phones and all that stuff. Make sure you charge up everything, because if your power goes out tonight, then you'll have a way to stay connected with how the weather's going, and make sure you get the alerts as well. So I want you guys to make sure you're out there and stay safe.
So I do have a question. Thank you to Kelly Turk for messaging that over. If parents don't necessarily understand the material, what resources can they use to educate themselves in order to help our students?
Good. So if parents don't understand the materials, what can they do to help them help their students? The teacher is always a great resource. But also that parent curriculum documents that I spoke about, because it breaks it down to where you can do everyday things at home that will help with the concept. And so the concept of what we're trying to do is what we want students to understand. And so for our younger students, we talk about money. And so, how do you handle money? If something costs $2 and you have $5, well, they know what in their head, they know what 5 minus 2 is. But when they have a $5 bill and something costs $2, they may not understand that I'm supposed to get $3 back. And so we need them to understand the concept of money. And so those are what those parent curriculum guys do, is they help parents understand the concepts that should be taught. Who's giving me all these angry faces? I don't know who that is. That must be my kids. I don't know who that is. But anyway, but always email the teacher. Always email the teacher. We are all online from 8 to 4 every day, and our teachers have office hours. And then, you have access to them via email. And so, the governor came out with a proclamation today that basically said all schools need to move to an online model or close this, physical buildings down until April 3rd. And so we've already done that. And so with that being said, is that now he's come out with that, and now he's minimized, the interactions to 10 or less. And so I have sent out a new memo today to our team basically saying that everybody needs to be out of the buildings by 2 p.m. and that we limit the amount of people that come in. And so we haven't had very many people come in. But as people come in, they are screened by the nurse. Their temperatures are taken by the nurse. They all have to enter in one door at each building. They're screened by the nurse. So as you're getting lunch in the mornings, know that our bus drivers and our child nutrition ladies are screened by the nurse every morning with their temperature being taken. Nurses, should I say, our nurses. And so I want to thank our nurse team. So Nurse Collins, Karen Collins leads our health services team, and they're doing a phenomenal job. And so I want to thank those ladies also for doing what they do. And so let me make sure I don't forget anybody. But I have Nurse Collins. I have Nurse Gaines at Neesmith. I have Nurse Jones at Edge. And then, of course, I have Nurse Roddy over at McClendon. And those 4 ladies are doing a great job taking care of our staff right now.
So I'm getting, and I want to apologize, guys. For some reason, some of these questions aren't showing up, but I have an inbox from Carissa Smith. She would like to know about picking up transcripts for college scholarship applications. What is going to be the process for that? Yeah.
So as I said earlier, Mr. Westphal is going to send out a letter about that tomorrow morning. He's going to have some detailed information in there about that. But basically, what's going to happen is you're going to have to email the counselor. And then the one thing that I'm talking to colleges about is that, you know, if we're talking about moving forward into the 21st century, why are we still sending transcripts through snail mail? We really should be able to upload transcripts. And so I'm talking to colleges about that now. But all you have to do is email your counselor. And so then you have to tell them, you know, where to mail them. And so instead of your child going up there physically and having a conversation about transcripts and, student loans and FAFSAs and things like that, all that stuff will be done virtually and digitally. So I'm going to ask, I asked Ms. Willingham, who is our Executive Director of Advanced Academics, that now we can hold FAFSA nights via Google Hangouts. And so even through Google Hangout, if you don't have access to the actual video camera or device, you can call in and you can hear and still talk with everybody. You just won't be able to see everybody. So we're going to still do all those things. And so we're still in school. We're just doing school differently. And so we just have to figure out a different way to do those things. And so transcripts, student financial aid, anything else that our kids need to be able to go to college, we're going to figure out a way to get it done. And we're just going to do it virtually.
Okay, so questions are coming in now, fast and furious. We've got some questions about how they'll know their Google Hangout online office hours schedules from the teachers. Ms. Froman is letting us know that the bell ringers, we'll talk about how important those are for attendance.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
then,
wait a
okay,
second.
sorry.
Okay. So every day your children will get, we call them warm-up activities or bell ringers, and they'll do those. They must do those every single day for attendance. So hear me clear on this. We have some children that are very smart, and they say, I can do all that on Saturday morning and knock it out. They can't do that. They have to do their bell ringer activity every single day for every period, every teacher. If they don't, they get marked absent. So the commissioner told all school superintendents that you do not have to worry about school funding as long as you can provide instructional support to children at home. And you have to prove that every day. So how do we prove that? Our warm-up is going to prove that for us. So every child has to do their warm-up every single day from every teacher. If a student says, oh, I don't have to do that today, it's not due till tomorrow, just ask a couple of questions. Is it the warm-up? Is it the bell ringer? If it is, it must be done that day or they'll be marked absent. So that's great.
About how will parents know the schedule and the class hours of the teachers?
So how will parents know the schedule and the class hours of the teachers? The teachers will email you that information, and they'll email that to the students. And so our secondary students, I told our staff that, you know, we should communicate with the child, with the student, because, you know, they're getting older. And so what we want them to do is communicate with the student and also copy you in the email. But we want to make sure our children are held accountable for their own education. And so they're moving forward with our supervision and with our monitoring, of course. And so we want to make sure they do that. And so teachers will email you their office hours. They'll let you know what they're working on. And all you have to do, if you have any question about what's going on in that virtual classroom, email or call the teacher. That is your number one thing to do. Email or call the teacher. If you don't get a response, then you email or call the principal. If you don't get a response, then you email or call me. And then I'll make sure that I have someone on our cabinet team get back to you. And so our teacher is always our first line of defense, the first question, because they're the ones that's in the classroom doing everything we need them to do. And so if you have any questions about what's going on in that classroom, email or call that teacher first.
All right, here's a great question that's been emailed in. If neither parent in our household are able to work from home, so the child's mostly at home to work on their work during the school day, so they can't attend the Google Hangouts and such, what is the cutoff time if the child's going to be doing most of the work in the evenings or weekends?
So it's the cutoff time is, so it's two different things of work you'll have. The warm-up has to be done during the day, sometime during the day. So say, for instance, if I have math class first period at 9 o'clock, I don't have to get my math warm-up done every morning by 9 o'clock. I have to get my math warm-up done today. That can be midnight to 11:59 p.m. I have to get it done today, because the next day is when we send that information to the state for attendance. And so we'll run a day behind. So as long as they get it done during that day, they'll be fine. Yeah, looks cloudy out there. I don't know if you've seen it or not. What was the other one? I kind of forgot it.
The week-long assignment. So
Yes.
there's a bell ringer and then
So the other assignment is simply, so a teacher may say, so maybe our art teachers may say, you guys have a week to do this assignment, and then they have a week to do it. So everyone will have their timeline, their deadline to get the work done. The most important thing, though, every single day must be the warm-up, ladies and gentlemen. Every single day must be the warm-up. If you would please spread that word for me. I have 458 people online right now. We have 2,600 kids in our system, so that means I have at least 2,600 parents. And I have, I don't know the math, but 2,200 people aren't hearing it. And so I need them to hear that. And so if you could spread that word for me in your groups, in your Facebook groups, students must do the warm-up every single day between midnight and 11:59 p.m. It has to be done.
So we got one great question sent in from actually our board member and parent.
Who is that?
Alicia Young.
Hey, Miss Young.
She would like to know, so a regular school day is from 7:30 to 3:45. Should students be expected to be working that entire time, like a regular school day?
Yes. So I would say yes for continuity purposes. We know it's not a perfect world, but I would say yes, students should be working that entire time. But we do know life happens. And so if you have a doctor's appointment, you have something you have to do, it's flexible. It's flexible. But I think especially for our younger students to understand, you have to get younger students, elementary students, on a routine. And routines are very important for our babies. And so if they get out of their routine, it's like bedtime. And you parents that have young people understand what I'm talking about. If their bedtime routine gets off, then, it's a little trouble in the house. And so we have to make sure they stay on the routine. And so even their routine is still lunch, it's still recess. And so, try to stay on the routine as much as possible. We understand that life happens.
There was a question a mom had about letter jackets. How do they find out about letter jackets?
Oh, letter jackets. Great question. It depends on the sponsor. And so if I'm going to ask, Sabrina, take a note. I'm going to ask all the sponsors to email the children in those events or in those programs about letter jackets. That's a very good question. I didn't think about that. Very good question. So if your child is expecting a letter jacket, or they were in band or something, and you wonder if they lettered, then like if your child's in band and you wonder if they lettered in band, then email Mr. Boyce, who's our band director. But I'm going to ask all of our sponsors to email our parents and let them know the progress on that. That's a great question.
All right. So I am not seeing any more questions. I want to thank the people who've passed them on to me. Some of them are showing up a little bit later. So, but thanks to you guys who've been helping us out getting the questions. I don't see any new ones right now.
So I'll go through these also. What I do is I go through these and the comments and the questions, and I answer them also. And so if your question doesn't get answered tonight, check around sometime tomorrow or the next day or Saturday and see if I put the answer up there. You may get an alert. I'm not a Facebookie, I don't know, but you may get an alert when I answer your question. But if it doesn't get answered tonight, leave it up there for a couple of days, and I will get around to it. Again, our biggest thing is to be transparent and to be honest and let you guys know what's happening. We are all tax-paying citizens and parents in our school district, and so you deserve the right to know what's going on and what's happening.
Here's a question about kindergarten roundup.
Kindergarten roundup? Mm-hmm.
That was it. Kindergarten roundup, question mark.
Is it happening? I don't know. It depends. If, in my house, we call it the corona. If the corona's around, then no, it won't. If it is not around, then yes, it will. And so that's one of those things we just have to wait and see. Hopefully after April 3rd, if things are going the way that we want them to go, and our cases are becoming a smaller number, and people are becoming less infected, and the CDC says, okay, you can go from 10 people to 50 people, and we start moving in the right direction, then we'll consider kindergarten roundup. But the main thing is we have to ensure everyone is safe and sound and practicing social distancing. And so if it's not safe for us to have kindergarten roundup, then we won't have it.
We have a teacher that's asked if you could talk briefly about allowing the students to work independently and making sure that it's the student work and not.
Oh, that's a great one. They don't want me to say the name, do they?
Don't want me to say it.
Boo. That's a great comment. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am the parent of 2 young people that I love dearly. And I'm going to say this quick story because I have 18 minutes left. And so my daughter fell and hurt her knee when she was 5 years old. And man, I mean, daddies and girls, it's just something about that girl. And man, she fell and hurt her knee, and I think I started crying. And I think she was okay. I think she cried because I cried. And so as parents, we really don't want our young people to suffer. We don't want them to struggle. We want their lives to be better than ours, and we want to make sure that they are successful. What we have to understand is experience is the best teacher. And as I told the senior class today, disappointment is good for you. We have to be disappointed. I think our generation today struggles from coping skills because of disappointment, and we haven't been told no enough, and we believe that things should be given to us. And so in this case, ladies and gentlemen and parents, let's let our children work through the problems, work through everything they have. If it's not right, if you see that it's not right, you can provide assistance, but let's coach. And so let's not give answers and say, you know, that's not the right answer. This is the right answer. Because we haven't shown them the process on getting the right answer. And so, you know, in the Bible, it says, you know, you teach men to fish and, you know, you don't feed them the fish. I know I said that wrong, but you get what I'm saying. And so we want to teach them how to fish. So when they're out of our houses, they know how to fish and they know how to fend for themselves and eat for themselves. So teacher, thank you for saying that. Because I guarantee you, y'all, teachers, you know, it's a sixth sense. They know if that child did their work or not. They know. We all know. And so when I was teaching, I knew, boy, you didn't do this. Sit here and do it again, and I'm going to watch you do it. And so let's let our children. I would like for my child to fail and suffer under my house and under my guardianship, under my guidance, before they get out into the real world and fail for the first time, because they're not going to know how to handle failure and handle disappointment for the first time if they do it outside of your house. So I think it is very important and very critical for children to experience disappointment and children to experience failure while they are under your guardianship, because then you can teach them through it and you can help them learn through it. And then you can talk them through, okay, what did you learn and how would you do that differently? So then when they're out of your house, they have the necessary coping skills to be successful adults.
So some people who joined us late maybe missed your update about senior information. They're asking about graduation and dual credit registration and then senior announcements. So maybe kind of a recap of the.
Yeah, a recap of senior stuff. And so I won't take too much time with that, but I would say you can go back and replay this video. 1 is. 2 is I put out a video to the seniors today explaining some things and talking about prom and graduation and how we're going to push that back. We're not just going to give up on those yet. And the other is Mr. Westfall is going to send out a letter tomorrow kind of detailing some of those things and giving you a way to speak to the school staff about transcripts and everything that your senior needs. And so the expectation is that children do not suffer behind this, especially behind any adult errors. And so we understand the urgency in that. And so we want to make sure that we have the optimal customer service. And so when you have a question, make sure you email the appropriate people and you ask. And so Mr. Westfall will address those things in the morning when he sends out his notice to parents.
There's one question here about the students who aren't able to be online due to internet access for attendance purposes. How is that going to be? How are those students counted?
So if your child cannot do, so I said earlier, if your child has a smartphone and you've spoken to your internet provider about, or your cell phone provider about unlimited access, unlimited data, they can do their warm up on their cell phone. I promise you they can. I promise they can. But if for whatever reason you don't have internet access, then we have a code that the Texas Education Agency has given us for students that don't have internet access. And so now what happens is the package that we send home, they must come back in a timely manner So then the agency has given us the opportunity to code students in a certain way, but they have to be one of the students that's already requested the packet. And so you can't go back now and request the packet. It had to have been done already. And so as long as you do that and they get their work done in the appropriate amount of time, then we're able to go and code them because we've already sent those names in and all that stuff. And so we have a way of taking care of that.
I got another email question about the warm up, how that works. We can.
The warm up activity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so every day the teachers will send that, will send that to students either via a packet. So say for instance, you get a packet and you don't have internet access. The packet will be fairly large and they'll make sure they do that work that way. If you have internet access and you have the capabilities of getting in Google Classroom, then the warm-up, it has to be done every single day for every single teacher. So the warm-up is different than the school work, the class work. So the class work may take a couple of days to get done, but the warm-up activity is a shorter activity to help teachers understand if the students master the content or not, and then they get that done every day. The warm-up has to be done every single day for every single teacher.
Anymore.
Okay, it is 6:48, and so we'll give it a couple more minutes if we don't have any more questions. Want to make sure we get out of here in time to see what the governor has to say. But again, ladies and gentlemen, I so appreciate you. I think this has been our largest number of attendees at once in Facebook Live. I hope I was able to answer your questions. Hope I was able to give you some reassurance that we're doing everything possible to help our young Braves. First and foremost, be safe, and then secondly, experience strong academic gains and be in an environment to where they have some social and emotional safety and security as well. And so, I'm gonna say it again: is that I pray for you guys often. I pray for our staff daily. I pray for our kids daily, and I pray for this district daily. And so we face adversity all the time, but there's nothing that we can't overcome because Braves win. What we have to make sure we do is that we exhibit the traits of a Brave, and I'm talking about everybody now, parents and myself included, all the adults. Because what I always say is, it's never an adult issue. It's never a kid issue. It's always an adult issue. And we have to make sure we model what we're asking our kids to do. So if we're saying our kids need to be generous, passionate, humble, and wise, and be kind to one another, then we have to do the same thing. Especially now, we have so much tension in our world right now. It's very easy for your anger to be misguided and misdirected to someone else, and you just kind of snap. And so we don't want that to happen. Let's extend grace. Let's extend patience. Let's extend peace. Let's pray for peace. Let's pray for physical health for everybody. Again, like I said, there's enough good and prosperity in this world for all of us to get some. We don't have to hope other people do bad for us to do good. We can all do good together. And so that's not going to be the case for everybody. A lot of us will experience disappointments and failures, and that's good because we learn from them. And so parents, make sure that you allow your students to experience failure. Make sure you allow them to experience disappointment while they are under your tutelage or under your roof. So you can teach them through it, you can guide them through it, and then when they become young adults, you're okay because they can make rational and reasonable decisions because they've experienced life before. And so, again, it's Dr. Nivens. I'm going to sign off now. No other questions. I'm going to sign off. Is there one?
We did have one about GT classes.
Yeah, same thing with the teacher. So email the teacher for GT classes. They'll have projects coming to you. A lot of this stuff, if you have internet access, you'll upload videos. And so again, your first response or your first question should always be to that classroom teacher. If you don't know who that teacher is, email the school, email the principal, and they can get you in the right direction. But email those teachers exactly what you need, and we'll be here to help. And so if nothing else, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say that I love you guys, love you dearly. I pray for you constantly, pray for your kids constantly. Love them too. Let's make sure that we practice social distancing. Let's make sure that we follow the law. Let's make sure that we beat this thing so we can get back in school. I want us back in school. And so let's make sure we beat this thing so we can get back in school. But most importantly, so we can all stay safe and stay healthy. All right. Dr. Nivens signing off. Y'all have a good evening. Stay safe out there. Clouds look really bad. Stay safe. Bye.